Okay, so for the record, the reason that I record these videos at the beginning of each of these units is just so that you guys get a break from staring at your screen and reading stuff, because I know that can be exhausting. If you'd rather read stuff because it's a little quicker, great. You don't need to watch these videos because I'm not going to say a whole lot that's new in there. Anyway, Unit 2B, small papers. So in this section, then we're going to be practicing a lot of the key writing skills and the things that we're going to be building on in English 2010. But we're going to be putting them together in a way that we weren't really doing a whole lot of in our competencies. We're using this as a way to start synthesizing some of those things together. Um, we're not, um, we're practicing is ultimately what that comes down to. Um, so that means that we're going to be practicing with our first paper writing a really strong and clear thesis statement. We're going to be working on structuring an argument that considers opposing views. And we're going to be working on specifically crafting definitions whenever something is a little bit more complex than might necessarily be obvious, moving beyond dictionary definitions and crafting academic style definitions or functional definitions. So it shouldn't, again, be a whole lot that's new from English 1010. It should just be taking that and building upon it using the skills that we picked up in the competencies and really practicing all of those skills together in a new way. So there are 4 pieces to this particular chunk. There are 2 proposals and there are 2 papers. So working through those in order, the definition paper proposal, what I'm going to ask you to do is make a definition of something. How do you know that a thing is that particular thing? And then what are 2 different ways that that thing can look? I'm going to give you a list of options that you can pick from. But if you don't like any of my options, you're welcome to pick your own. Just make sure that you run it by me in the proposal. And I do reserve the right to say no if it's something that I don't think is going to be a good definition paper. It's going to be too difficult to write, or it's something that's not really at the definition level or something like that. That's going to be due on the first part of the class, and then by the end of that week, then you're going to be turning in the definition paper, which is going to be an expansion of all of that information, 1.5 pages, 2 pages long, in which you're going to be expanding on that thesis by looking in a whole lot of detail at the paragraph level at each one of those particular examples that you're considering for this. And along with that, then also looking at how both of them fit into the thesis, even though they might not obviously be the same. So 1 week for the definition paper, Monday and Friday. Second part is going to be the opposing view paper. So the first part of that is obviously going to be the proposal, in which, unlike the first one, I'm going to have you just basically explain your claim to me. And again, I've got a list that you can pick from for that one. But if you would like, then you are welcome to come up with your own on that one as well. But I'm just going to have you write for a paragraph about something. And as long as it looks like you're ready to talk about that thing in more detail, then I'm going to give that one the go ahead. For the definition paper proposal, frequently there's a reasonable amount of revision. For the opposing viewpoint proposal, not nearly as much revision involved. And then by the end of that week, then you're going to be turning in your opposing viewpoint paper, which is, again, 1.5, 2 pages long. So that one's going to look more like a standard 5-paragraph essay, except that one of the paragraphs is going to be looking at why people might disagree with the claim that you're making, and then another one explaining why, although they make good points, you ultimately do not agree with them. So that's our small papers.